I'm just so excited to talk to you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you too.
Yes, and before we get into everything Modelo and these exciting collaborations you have currently going on, I always like to start out asking here on the art of kindness. How are you at accepting compliments? Because I feel like it's sort of a tricky thing in this business, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you get a lot of them all the time.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I get mad if people don't say it. Like if someone says, "Oh, you're beautiful," but you know that already. I'm like, still, I want to hear it. I put work in. So, I've gotten a lot better. I started getting annoyed when I would give people compliments, and they'd be like, "Oh no, I look terrible today," and I was like, "Damn, is that how I sound?
Yeah.
I do that." So now, I mean, I give myself compliments. There was I'll say it like this. I was talking to someone once and I was like, guys, he's like the male version of me. I really like him, which really tells me that I really love myself.
I love that. You should love yourself. That's what we're here for. We got to have self love because we can't love others if it doesn't come from us. To get a little cheesy already, but I'm a cheese ball. I feel
Oh,
that
I'll
so
agree
deeply.
with you. Well, I mean, I don't think anyone understands that concept yet because we were raised with, entertainment and school of like being chosen. Hey, who wants
Yeah.
to answer a question? Whoever gets a question gets an answer right, gets a prize. So pick me, pick me. We all grew up with pick me syndrome. So it's hard to learn
Yeah.
or unlearn when we're adults that like it starts from within and then it's like the rest of the world. And if someone doesn't like you, okay, bye.
Yeah, you're so right. I think it's a systemic thing too. I know for me, after I do a show, I do a lot of theater and I come out the stage door and people say things like, oh, that was great, whatever. My first instinct is to say, oh no, I had a sore throat today. It wasn't that good. It's to deflect it. But
Uh-huh.
embracing that self-love and having people like you say that, who so many people look up to, it's a wonderful thing to remember. And before we get into some of your projects and what you have going on, I would also love to ask you what your definition of kindness is because I think all this falls under that. And it
Uh-huh.
would just be cool to hear your thoughts.
Unconditional grace.
Oh,
I just made that up. It's unconditional grace. We all have trauma. We all go through stuff. I have my bad days. You have your bad days. And I've learned a lot that when someone projects onto me, it's not personal at
mm,
all. It's something that they're going through. And especially if it's someone that I care about, I'm like, okay, I know this isn't geared towards me. I'm going to give you grace because I know you and we can move on. I mean, literally, we all offend each other, and I've
mm.
just learned not to take it so personal. And if it's someone that's just not ready to grow and they're just not there, I just pull myself away. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean I don't care about them. I used to be spiteful, and if someone betrayed me or something, I'm like, I'm gonna get you. And now I'm in a place where,
Yeah.
yeah, now I'm in a place where I was like, ugh, they're just in a season. I've been there. I understand what that's like. They'll grow out of it. If they don't, sucks for them. So just unconditional grace.
I love that. That's so smart. Do you feel like being an actor and a creator has helped you with that? Because we hear so many no's, and you kind of do have to, in the back of your mind, wrestle with that and just say, it's not me. It's not personal. It's a million other things.
Yeah, I don't know if I learned it from the nose per se. I think I've learned it from just portraying my characters. You really have to. Acting is hard. I know it looks easy and people think we're just saying lines, but like we have to open Pandora's box and feel things that the average human physically can't feel. Like just can't.
Mm.
Those chest pains you get when you're sad. Oh, times that like we're getting paid to feel those when we portray these people. So I think, every single one of my characters has taught me something. Yeah, being in the business, but I think not from the nose, just from a bunch of assholes in the business.
Mm. You always stood out to me as doing that. I mean, I remember in high school, my girlfriend's watching the teenage show you were on, American. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And every
Long,
time you're there, we go. Every time you like came on screen, I'm like, this girl can feel like you were really feeling. You stood out from as soon as I saw you on screen. So that checks out to me. I would love to know as we kind of fly over your career, and then I'll pop into the chat with Modelo. Is there an act of kindness you feel like that stands out to you as kind of getting you to where you are today? I'm sure there were a lot of them, but like one that sticks out as sort of just changing your journey.
one besides donating a kidney. What?
Well, I know. I mean that I used to work for Ola and we wrote about that quite a bit. And I was like, this is the news we need more of. It's
Yeah.
positive news that unfortunately people may take eventually into something else. But I loved seeing that in the headlines.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a personal choice. It definitely was just an act of kindness, no matter what the rumors are. And like, listen, we experience it with every hero in the world. I'm sure there
Mm.
were bad stuff written about Martin Luther King after he passed. Like people are always just going to look for something negative. And like I said earlier, unconditional grace. Like I put myself in a position where people are interested in my personal life. That one's, I wish that wasn't so crazy as it has been, but sometimes people need a distraction from their own lives. And if it's someone else, I know when I was growing up, I was wondering what Jonathan Taylor Thomas was doing every day. So try to set myself for my life. So if I'm that distraction, I mean, I guess I just have to be grateful that people care about how my feelings, I guess. But yeah, it was something that I just did because I really felt called to do it. And I've been very blessed since, my first audition right after surgery, 2 weeks was Grownish and I booked it. So, and I've just
Booked it.
yeah, and I've just been in my own journey ever since. It definitely did a lot for me. And my favorite thing about that is I'm able to talk to other potential donors. No one really knows I do that, but the amount of times people have called me and said, "Hey, my friend's about to donate. Do you mind talking to them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have a 2-hour conversation with them." And I think
Mm.
when I went to the movies a couple months ago, someone went up to me and he was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but I'm your sister's friend." And I asked her if you could talk to my friend because she was donating a kidney. And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he was like, "She's doing great. Thank you for that." So that makes all of that worth it.
That's special. You're forming your own mini support group, which I think is great. And I forgot Grownish.
Donors need it. Donors need it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I just did a film with Yara Shahidi. What a nice gem. I love her. So speaking of kindness, you have this, yeah, you have this new partnership. I want to get to this where you've been able to pay it forward like we're talking about right now. Just talk to us about this exciting venture with Modelo and the expansion of Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, just to
Oh,
set the scene.
Modelo spiked aguas frescas. Yes, this is
Yes.
the second year that they're doing where they're just honoring street vendors, which we all grew very grateful of during the pandemic, who just kept us fed and gave us a reason to leave the house. And we've acknowledged, the value of small businesses. And so I was really appreciative. This is geared towards my people, the people I grew up with. And, aguas frescas was such a staple for me growing up. So to have that little nostalgia feeling of like the spiked aguas frescas is
Yeah.
really delicious. And it's fun. And I love that we were able to surprise Salvador yesterday with the new cart. Like he was just telling us that he was praying over the weekend. He was like, "I know timing is everything. Timing is everything. I've been praying for something like this." And little did he know that this was being planned for like 6 months. Yeah. It was
See, it's important what you put out there. Take us through the surprise. Take our listeners through this because this is kindness right here. This surprise is insane. I love it so much.
Yeah, so Jesus or Juice, was hanging out with him, and I think, he thought he was just doing a content shoot. He didn't know anything about the Modelo, Aguas Frescas, nothing, or that a cart was even coming. He had shared with Modelo and Juice that he wanted to expand beyond Aguas Frescas and make food and stuff. So they actually provided a grill, a fridge, a bunch of stuff, and if he's not ready to do it yet, they can remove it. Like it's pretty versatile. And he was completely blindfolded and he had his wife with him, which was
Oh.
so sweet. And you like see him creeping. We're all nervous. I'm sweating. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting." And he takes off his blindfold and it was like he was stuck. He was shook. He froze for a little bit and he was like, "I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this." And he did cry, which was amazing and beautiful.
Oh.
And that's when he started sharing. He was like, "I just prayed for this, and I just, I'm real. I can't believe it." And all he kept saying was, "Is this real? Is this real?"
Oh, is this real life? That makes me so happy. We need more content like that because do you remember? I remember growing up, Extreme Makeover Home Edition. It
Yeah,
was
I
content
do.
like that, and they're like, "Move that bus," and it
Yeah, and
was
they
so
start
good.
crying, and they're like, "Ah!" Yeah.
Yes, and people are overcome with these emotions. Now we can all watch this somewhere, right? Can we? Because I need to. Can we
Yes,
see this? Okay.
Modelo would have the answer to that. I don't know.
Modelo. I'm gonna put it in the show notes just so everyone knows. I'll link right to it, and then you can make sure to go out there support. Yeah, Juice is great. I talked to him about. I think, like you said, a year ago, he did a surprise almost to this day. Was it?
Disneyland? Or with Modelo?
Disneyland.
Yeah, this is yeah. He
Yeah.
did a year ago. Yeah, and I learned about him already. What's funny is my makeup artist was talking about him in the car, not knowing we were about to shoot with him because they were talking about the Disneyland trip he did with the
Oh.
vendors outside. And I said, "Man, I really love that." He goes, "Do you want to come?" I said, "Absolutely. I do that all the time. I
Mm.
love bringing people and their kids to Disneyland." So I was like, "Let's make it even bigger and better." So thank you, Modelo, for introducing me to him because I get to be in touch with my people.
Thank you, Modelo. Wait, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland? I just feel like I need to know that right now, if you have one.
Probably Space Mountain.
Okay, classic.
Yeah, but I get nauseous now, but I do love it. Oh, I love it. And my sister
Isn't
points it out every time. It's hilarious.
doesn't that suck as you get older? I'm like, I used to love these roller coasters, and now my body's like, nah, man.
Like I can't do Matterhorn anymore. You shake too much.
Shake, 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 Senora. I love that. I'm gonna go shake up a can of your salsa after this. I know we're not talking about that today, but
Yeah.
I heard an interview talking about it recently, and I'm like, this sounds like the best. So, I mean, the last time we saw you, before I wrap you up, you were shouting on how I met your father, which I
Yes.
feel like left us too soon. Is there like gonna be a wrap up there? Do we know? Like some kind of is
I
that a
don't
possibility?
know.
I thought I saw that on Instagram.
I asked them, after we found out about the cancellation, unfortunately, it was, the strike.
Okay.
Um, I asked, hey, so who's the dad? And they're like, if it's dead, we'll tell you. Because obviously everyone starts shopping shows afterwards. But I don't know. I don't think it's coming back. I know what happened with me. I end up with Charlie and I have a son, which was cool and fun to see me as a mom. But other than that, I still don't know who the dad is. So hopefully one day they tell us, Hillary's about to have a baby, it's in
Ah,
a
love her.
months. So,
Yeah,
you know, things
I
change.
know.
I'm grateful for that experiences. That experience. One, I got to work with Hillary. Two, my cast is amazing. Three, it was my first time doing sitcom, and I fell in love with it.
And you killed it. And I was trying to surprise you with someone. We usually like to do a surprise compliment game on the show with someone from the show, but it was just too tight a window to make it happen. So if I get one, I'll send you what they said, what they submitted. I reached out to a couple of your friends on that.
No
But
way.
yeah, this is my fun thing I like to do on this show, the compliment game. There's a cheesy theme song and everything. But I love talking to you, and I know you got to go. So I would just love if you could kind of end our time together by sharing a tangible tip or piece of advice for listeners out there on what they could do every day to just make the world a little bit brighter. I mean, we all can't surprise people with cars. I wish we could, but what's
No.
something you think that people can do?
The best thing you can do is make your world internally brighter and then it shines through. My favorite thing to do in the mornings is listen to Snoop Dogg's affirmations and it just gives me a pep in my step. I'm not kidding. I have it on repeat while I'm having my coffee. Snoop Dogg does it for me. And then you just have like a little pep in your step and you walk out and people feel that energy. People can feel when you're down, people can feel when you're pissed. We all are very sensitive to energies now. So the best thing you can do is make sure you're good here. And if you're not,
Mm,
stay home until you are.
I love that. That's great for actors too in auditions. You got to walk in there with good energy because we can feel these things. Well, I love
Well, casting directors can feel when you're desperate, and no one likes that.
nobody likes that
No,
except for
and
Desperate
just,
Housewives. Good show.
but just know that these casting directors, which I've learned being on the other side of things now, everyone's rooting for you. People want
Mm.
you to do well. People want you to do good. So it's not like they have it out for anyone or they already have a choice. They're looking for just something different. So if you read something and even though the script says one thing, you see something differently, do the different thing.
I love that. What a beautiful note to end this on. And I got to say, I'm rooting for you. I love seeing you shine. I hope it continues. I can't wait to see what you do next. And I just thank you on behalf of everyone over here for being such a good role model because you really are someone to look up to in this business.
I appreciate it. You're so sweet, Rob. I can't wait to see who you say. Now that you told me about the compliment thing, I probably would have been like,
I know. It's fun though. I read it to people and then I give you like hints and you have to guess who said it. If you come back again, I'll try and make sure we do it because it's a
okay.
good time. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
a little Muppet, so I like to do random
I
shit like
love
that.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
So nice to meet you.
It was great to meet you too. Thank you all.